that this thing is over.
Yes.
All right. And with that, gentlemen, I would say we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
My name is Steve Bankston. I'm with PricewaterhouseCoopers. I want to welcome you to our intimate event on forming and managing boards of directors. This is intentionally going to be an informal panel where we encourage you to ask questions early and often, because in most of the panels we've been today and other events, the audience Q&A is the best part. So if you have a question, get my attention and we'll get it to the panel. Otherwise, the format is going to be, I'm going to introduce each of the panels, just kind of starting here and going down, and they're going to chat about the main thoughts they have on this topic, both from their perspective and from things you ought to know if you're in the position of creating or managing your own board or being a board member. And then I'll start.
In terms of business and thinking about business. And so it's always nice for me to be exposed I'm about to discuss is one that when I go in that direction, a lot of people tend to assume that I'm some sort of a communist. Nothing could be further from the truth. I adore business. I'm deeply attached to it. I do not believe that successful societies can exist without a thriving business sector. At the same time, I also understand that free market is an oxymoron. A free market is a place where the biggest, strongest person bops you over the head and takes what they want. Markets cannot exist without law, and business cannot exist without law. And in order to understand what makes business contribute to social welfare, because of course, in my view, that's what business is about. It's about improving our lives. And by the way, it's brilliant at that when it's structured properly. But it has to be structured properly, and to do that, we need to be very realistic. Dreadful mistake over the past 20, 30 years in misunderstanding what business really is, and especially what the public corporation really is. And I want to give you an example, I think, of how that mistake has actually impeded the ability of business to make our lives better. And the example is BP. You probably remember that on April 20th in 2010, an oil well that BP was drilling in the Gulf of Mexico suddenly exploded. And the oil rig, the Deepwater Horizon, went up in a column of fire that burned for 2 days before it finally collapsed into the depths of the Gulf of Mexico, killing 11 people and beginning the worst oil spill in, I believe, the history of afterwards. They had been halved to $30 a share. A loss in BP's market capitalization of $100 billion. Of course, the calamity was by no means confined to reductions in the value of BP shares. BP bonds were also severely damaged. For corporations that were in the tourism industry in the Gulf. It was bad for the fishing industry in the Gulf. It was bad for individuals who owned real estate